Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you 3 of the most DPS weapons in the game. Now what I mean by this is the highest DPS weapons of the brand new season. Now if you guys don't know, pretty much the PvE meta has changed completely since last season and many previous seasons. So in today's video we're going to be talking about the changes and the top 3 weapons for each category. So that's kinetic, energy, special ammo and obviously a heavy weapon. Now to test this sort of setup we are going to be taking it into the tribute hall because I believe it's a fairest test. And I've tested all these weapons out guys, and in my personal opinion and a lot of other people that I do play with, these are the 3 most DPS weapons in the game at the minute. But before we do start with today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like down below and let's jump straight into it. So the setup we do have guys, and obviously if you guys do want builds, sort of PvE builds, I just recently covered a Hunter PvE build and I've covered a PvP build for all characters, so make sure to check them out. But what we're rocking today is the Chaperone, which is a single slug precision round shotgun, which is really good, and we'll talk a lot about that in today's video since that is going to be the main weapon of this top DPS weapon setup. Now your kinetic is going to be the last hope and we'll talk about that, and obviously a lot of you guys know already this falling guillotine is one of the best swords and probably the best DPS weapons I've ever seen in Destiny. So pretty much guys we're going to talk about the most sort of weapon you're going to be using most. So we'll talk about the kinetic, which takes sort of white ammo. Now this last hope is my PvP one because unfortunately I don't actually have a PvE role yet. This comes with tap the trigger, rangefinder, so no actual damage perks, but I know you can get one with I think rangefinder and rampage, and that is definitely going to be the best one in my opinion. So make sure you guys are farming for this sort of last hope. But we'll test this out and I'll show you why I believe this is one of the best, if not the best, primary damage weapon. So we're going to go over to the left side, and I've seen a lot of people do some testing on this, so hopefully you guys are familiar with sort of the testing area and pretty much how most YouTubers test these weapons. We're going to turn all this side on. I'm going to show you how overpowered this is. Bearing in mind it doesn't come with rampage. If you guys have one with rampage it's going to make it so much better. So a standard red bar thrall is going to be literally 1 burst. Same with a shank without crits, it's going to be 1 burst. Now this is where it gets interesting. So we're standing quite a decent, like the mid sort of ranged stand with a sidearm to shoot, and as you can tell takes just over 3 bursts from there. And obviously if you're up close you're going to be doing a little bit more damage with sidearms, and obviously you're going to be able to kill them in 2 bursts pretty much most of the time. Sometimes it is 3, but like I said, if you get one with rampage then it's definitely going to be really good. Now the burst sort of system is really good with this gun, and what I mean by that is the burst you get off for DPS is really good. So we'll try it on this yellow bar knight right here guys, and we're going to be hitting all critical shots and we'll see how many mags it takes to kill. So 1 mag takes 2/3 of his health, and obviously the next mag, so it's about 1.5 mags guys for a yellow bar. We'll try it on the Auger, which is one of the most like DPS ones we can test it on right now, and obviously we're just going to be hitting as many crits as we can, but not always hitting crits, just to take an average obviously DPS wise. So that's from 2 mags guys, and he's just under half. So that is the 3rd mag, and then that is going to be the 4th mag, which takes a little while, but for a primary weapon it isn't that bad. And just imagine that with rampage it probably would have took 2 mags easily. But like I said, this is going to be your ad clearing weapon, so you're not really going to be using it on any of these yellow bars up here or sort of high tier orange bars. You're basically going to be using it on these ads right here. So if we can, as you can tell, imagine these was in a horde and you do have one with rampage, you're going to be pretty much melting everything you can. And that is just 1 mag guys, so 1 mag is capable without rampage of taking out these 4 enemies. So that is the last hope, and that is why we have it in the kinetic slot. Some say auto rifles are a little better, but it's totally preference. I just like how this is fast and you can get around really quickly. Now, talking about the one that's probably going to shock most people is the Chaperone. Now the Chaperone, if you guys didn't know, slug shotgun's got a 30% buff in PvE, and it's really overpowered and really good. So we'll talk about the perks. Comes with hammer forged rifling, increases range, accurized round, and this perk right here, which is what we'll talk about last, hand laid stock and precision slug. Now the road bone, precision kills briefly grant bonus handling range and precision damage with this weapon. Now the amount of range, as you can see, is maxed out on this Chaperone, and if you guys don't have this already, it's a simple quest, so look up the quest to do it because it's really worth it this season. So we're going to test it out on these red, yellow and orange bars. So we're going to stand up close for now. As you can tell, 50k from that shot. Now we're going to stand at the second podium, so quite a long way away. And as you can tell, 61k right there. We're going to wait for the damage buff to decrease, and then we're going to test it on the orange bar, that yellow bar, and then obviously the Auger. So orange bar, still a one shot. Now we're going to stand pretty close to this yellow bar knight, and as you can tell, 3 shots from the Chaperone and it's dead, and it doesn't actually take that long to actually fire these shots, guys. It's a lot quicker than you'd expect. So we'll test on the Auger. So 6 shots does kill the Auger. However, if we can get that buff that does more damage. Fortunately we ran out of ammo, but with the buff you can tell it does a lot more damage than usual, and that is why it's one of the best DPS weapons at the minute, because of the amount of range it does have for the shotgun and the amount of damage it does in total. So that's the Chaperone out of the way, guys. We're going to be talking about the heavy weapon and why this is really overpowered. So you get this from the season pass, guys. I think that's the only way you can get it. So make sure you buy the season pass if you do want this weapon. But the one perk you're going to be looking for is a Whirlwind Blade. Rapid sword strikes increases weapons damage for a short duration. This is really overpowered, and I'm going to show you the best way to actually use it. Now the build that I do have, or the perks that did drop with my sword, aren't actually the best. There's definitely better ones. But the best thing about this sword is launch a heavy spin attack. Heavy attacks are stronger with full energy. Attacks partially bypass elemental shields. Now at the minute, I'm not sure if there's a little glitch with this sword, but you'll see sometimes the damage doesn't register until like a second after. So I think they'll fix that maybe. But pretty much, guys, when using this sword, if you look at the bottom left, now when I shield you'll see that bar depleting next to the grenade. You pretty much want to be having that obviously full to make the most DPS out of this. Now obviously it's going to one-shot a Thrall like that, so you don't want to be wasting ammo on these smaller enemies, guys, because one swipe to an orange bar will kill. So if it's a red bar or an orange bar, you don't want to be swiping. Now we're going to test it on this knight right here. So we're going to RT attack, and as you can tell, one did actually kill it. Now that is with full energy, and you'll see the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all the energy in this kill like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it again, and as you can see the damage difference when it's not fully charged is just insane. So what you want to do to maximize this the best way, guys, is what you need to do is I'll test it over here on this captain. You want to use your RT attack once and then RB and swipe. When you're swiping you want to try and regen that sort of energy attack best you can and as quickly as you can, because obviously the sword isn't worth really using unless you do have that energy in your sword slot sort of increasing the damage. So make sure you've got that slot fully leveled up. I'm going to test with 3 full swipes, so pretty much one big swipe with the full energy of the sword will actually kill. So 2 of them will kill. So as you can tell, for a sword that's really overpowered. Now we'll test on this Auger once we've killed him. Can be a little bit difficult to do it with the Auger, obviously, because trying to get on his platform is a little bit annoying. We'll probably miss a few swings, but we'll test it right here. So all you want to do is swipe. Now, this is mainly for big bosses that aren't going to die really quickly. So your RT attack and then light attack until it's fully charged, and then your RT attack like that. Hopefully that sums up how to use this sword and the best way to do it. So what I recommend, obviously, if you're using these weapons to try and fly through high tier PvE activities, you want to be using your last hope on these first 4 sort of enemies. Your Chaperone when you get like knights, yellow bars, that sort of thing, because you will wipe them quickly. And obviously for these big enemies you want to be using your sword and Chaperone when you do have ammo. Hopefully that's wrapped things up today, guys, and I've hopefully explained what the best sort of free weapons are to use at the minute. If you've got any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section, because I will be checking every single one on today's video. But the like goal for today's video is going to be 100 likes. If we could get that, I'd appreciate it a lot. And as always, guys, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one.